Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Steph from Lindy Stitches. I'm a cross-stitch pattern designer and I have a needlework store at lindystitches.com. I'm so excited to be here today because here's the after. I can't wait to tell you all about my new recording space. I'm going to talk more in detail about that towards the end of the video. Didn't think it was super interesting to everyone. We're going to focus on the cross stitch first and have a big list and a table full of stuff, and I just need to take a deep breath because I'm already too excited. So it is the beginning of August. Had to show you these. Look, I grew these. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? My sunflowers and my pumpkins are doing great this year. However, a big storm went through on Friday and my sunflowers are so huge and tall. They're like 9 or 10 feet tall and a few of them bit the dust. So I went ahead and harvested some blooms and they last so long when you cut them down and put them in a vase. I just love it. I hope you're having a great summer. School is almost starting here. It's next week for both of the kids I have here at home. So life will change yet again. I just can't wait to talk needlework, so let's get into it. A couple weeks ago, I hosted a virtual class with Lois of Lady.Creates called Ruffled Feathers, and we finished this needle book together, and it was so fun. We had a lot of students. We tried things out virtually for finishing. We, of course, practiced a lot of times before the event to make sure everything was working right, and praise the Lord, everything went well. It's a little bit nerve-wracking on the technology side, but so many students emailing me or tagging me pictures of their finishes. What I love most about this is that it empowered people to finish. And not just know how to finish a hard needle book like this, but to get all sorts of tips and tricks about everything along the way. So I think if you have the opportunity to attend a finishing class, I would do it. I say that having not attended a finishing class myself. I stand corrected in my priorities. Because not only was it, okay, now I know how to finish this, but I know how to work. I have some tricks for rickrack. I have some tricks for palms. I know what types of ribbon are best for finishing. I know how to poke holes through things and how it doesn't have to be scary. So many people were asking great questions of Lois, so it was just like a really fun day of getting together to finish. So if you attended my class, thank you so much. If you are interested in a Ruffled Feathers class kit, I have some left over. You can email me and my email is down below. But that's our Ruffled Feathers project. It was so fun. I feel like I'm going 90 miles an hour. Can I just talk about my outfit? This is my new favorite outfit. I cannot remember the last time I had a pair of overalls, but my daughter was getting rid of these, and just because she didn't wear them, and I was like, would you mind if I tried those on? Not thinking they were gonna fit because she is much smaller than me. They fit, and they are like the best of all worlds. Like, what I like about them is, first of all, I don't know if you can tell, but I don't care if I look like a dork. What I really love about them is, like, there's nothing on my waist, but I'm wearing pants. I love it. It's like everything that's comfortable about a dress, but it's not a dress, which makes it even better. So I'm just gonna wear this every day. That's my plan. I wore it yesterday, wearing it again today. If it still looks good, I might wear it again tomorrow. Don't tell my friends. Let's get started on new releases. I had 3 new pattern releases since I saw you last. 2 Bird Crush. Let's go through those. Here is the American Goldfinch. So adorable. On his sunflowers. I didn't know this, but Barbie at Petal Pusher told me this. She said, finches can actually be very naughty when it comes to garden flowers that they enjoy the seeds of, like sunflowers. They actually can come and start tearing the petals off because they want the plant to just mature already so they can eat the seeds. Did you know that? I haven't seen my finches doing such horrible things, but yes, here's the American Goldfinch sitting on his sunflower. This was stitched on good old 32 count vintage country mocha. And this was the August release last year. August is my birthday month, so I just wanted to pick one of my favorites for my birthday month. And this is one of the favorite pictures I saw of Chris's. He's our Bird Crush photographer. It is the Lewis's woodpecker. And I love this woodpecker so much because not only does he have this really gothic looking like feathers around his neck, they kind of look like a speckled boa. He has this really shiny black back that can almost reflect a little bit green, so very gothic looking, but then he has like this bright pink belly. He's the cutest thing ever. And of course named after Meriwether Lewis, the explorer. Oh, I love him. And then my last new release was part of my Airmail series. This is Airmail July. And I loved how this one turned out. This is actually a European goldfinch. European goldfinch, this is what they look like if you are an American and maybe you haven't seen one before. Of course, I stylized the wing right there to give it the little geode pattern that all the airmail stamps have. But this is a goldfinch in Europe. Now, the only gold he has is a little bit under his wing. But, you know, this is what we call the goldfinch. This is a goldfinch in Europe. And I actually came across the European goldfinch on Instagram, where you come across most things. At least that's where I come across most things. And I didn't know what it was at first, because I'm an ignoramus. So I had to look it up, and I wanted it to be the July stamp because he looks patriotic. And I like that he looks patriotic for quite a few countries. Any country that uses navy and red, he works for, right? Anyway, following me. So I wanted to use them for July, which is, you know, patriotic month in America. And I thought it was so funny that he's European. So had to use the 76 for the number. Although the numbers are all the same size, you could definitely change the number if you ever want to change the number for like an anniversary date or something. But the European goldfinch joins the rest of the series. This was Airmail March and Airmail May. And I just love, I mean, this is my favorite part, how saturated the colors are and the different color combos of the trims and the velveteens. My favorite part, when I go to finish them, it's so much fun. These are all Lady Dot Create supplies, all the trims and the velveteens, and it's so much fun to pick the colors that I'm going to use to finish. So each airmail bird, when it comes out, has a finishing pack of the 3 supplies that you need to finish the bird. I do still have July finishing packs. These 2 airmail finishing packs are sold out. I only order a certain quantity because they are kind of a pain to put together, both for Lois and me. So we do a certain quantity, and then when they sell out, but you could still order the supplies if you wanted. So those are my new releases. Thanks for letting me prattle on about them. I can't wait to show you the things I've been stitching on this summer. One is a pattern that is technically not released yet, but it's coming mid-August, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. Maybe some of you have this as a whip if you were with me in the Pacific Northwest last year, but I started the Blue Flower Forest Home. So this comes out mid-August. I have it listed in my website as a pre-order. I have them on order from Janine, and they are coming along with her other new releases in the middle of August. But you can go ahead and pre-order it from me if you would like. This is Forest Home, and it was a release at the retreat that Janine and I were doing with Acorns and Threads last year, and it is gorgeous. I absolutely love the little beaver who is eating the tree. Multnomah Falls. It just has Pacific Northwest vibes to it. And I am stitching this on a fabric that I raved about in my last video. This is Spending Amnesia by Mystic Fabrics. And, well, let me just show you. I said this in I just made a little Instagram video about this. I have 4 projects to show you today. And look at my fabrics. Like, I did not do this on purpose. I just have a problem. They're like almost all the same color. Now, these 2 fabrics are Spending Amnesia. This is Picture This plus Tidal, and this is Forbidden Fiber Co. Spearmint. But I piled them all up and I'm like, oh. Like, I knew I had a mint green problem. Is it a problem? That's up for debate. But Spending Amnesia, Mystic Fabrics, love it. Have it in my store in 16 count Aida, 16 count, or 14 count Aida, and 32 count linen. But look at this. I'm sorry if I feel like really fiddly on the camera. I'm trying not to be, but I'm still learning how to deal with the light and how my camera works. So I'm sorry if I'm popping in and out of my chair and like messing things around, but just take a look at this. The colors pop so well off this background. Like, I can't deal. I'm doing this with the called for threads. Janine stitched hers on 40 count Ghostly Shadows linen by XJU Design. And we did get a piece of 36 count of the same color in our kit. It's not mint green, so I changed it. Ah, love it. Isn't this adorable? I want to get back to this. So I did that over the last couple months. I didn't want to show it to you because you couldn't get the pattern, so I felt like it was kind of mean. Next up, did a little wee bit of Christmas in July stitching. I worked on my Prairie Schooler in progress the night before Christmas. And my progress is not very impressive, but I started the block on the bottom. This project is not very far from completion. I have no excuse why it's not done. Like, it's one of those projects, and I'm sure you have projects like this, where it's like, I love the finished piece, and I want the finished piece on my wall. For some reason, I don't love stitching on it. I don't know why. Like, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me, but Like, I love it. I love how it looks. It's really, really cute. I don't know why I'm not like thrilled to death stitching it like I am other projects, but eventually it will get done. And that's on 32 count Picture This Plus title, which is just a little less saturated than the Spending Amnesia. Okay, I've told you, and I have given you a little bit of sneak peeks of this sampler that I'm working on for Nashville 2024. And I'm loving working on this. I'm definitely past the point where I need to be stitching it myself for checking the colors and things like that, but at this point I'm just enjoying it so much that I am not going to pass it off to a model stitcher. I'm just going to go ahead and finish it. But I'm just going to show you the back. I'll show you the back like a weirdo. Here's the back. Isn't it going to be great? So this has a little poem in the middle, and it is a kind of a big square, and I'm going to fill it in. So that's just kind of a relaxing fill-in stitch. Last time I gave you a sneak peek. How about a lemur this time? I'll show you my lemur because he's stinking adorable. Can you see that? I'm really excited. And that's Spending Amnesia as well. The last project I've worked on, and the one that I've gotten the most progress on, and the one I think I could finish by maybe the end of August or maybe September. I think I could finish this. This is Garden Sampler by Carriage House Samplings, and have so enjoyed this. I've so enjoyed working on this. It's such a pleasure. I'm stitching this on 32 count spearmint, and that fabric is by Forbidden Fiber Co., and it's just such a long and skinny piece that I can't show it to you vertically and be in frame. Yeah, I said last time, like, the stitch count on this one is pretty massive, but this goes so quickly. Like, you could definitely do a letter a night, and it wouldn't be like this massive 4-hour stitching session. It's just a nice quick treat at the end of the day. Of course, some letters take longer than other ones. So since you saw it last, I completed the N. I started the ground on the bottom, and then I came back up to the top, and then I did A, B, and C. The acorn, the ant, the butterfly, and the caterpillar. That caterpillar looks amazing! Let me tell you, one of the favorite things I have about this piece is my vine color. And I know I've talked to you about this already, but it just makes it, I think it makes it quicker. I know it makes it quicker. In the original, the vine is this bright green, but each leaf has a little line of a different color in it. So, like, you know, you have to, like, count that out. I nixed that idea, and I am doing the vines and the leaves in this floss, which is called Coastal Seaweed by the Thread Gatherer. And I'll just hold it. Man, it's like I'm a beginner again. Look at my leaves. Do you see that? It is so fun, because all I do is outline, and then I just kind of go wherever I want within the leaf, and the color kind of pools up. This Coastal Seaweed has teal in it. It has like an avocado green, and it has just a medium green in it. It's so cool. But look at my leaves. Aren't they awesome? They look awesome. So I think it actually makes it quicker because I don't have to count the leaf. I just outline it and then I fill it in. And this floss is just doing the work for me. And I want to design I would love to do more of that in my designs, of just relying more maybe on some variegated floss to not only make it a little more interesting and unexpected, but also it's easier for the stitcher than to chart a bunch of different colors or chart out details in different colors. So, yes, loving this. I don't know, I don't have much to go, and I'm excited. I hope your projects throughout the summer have just given you joy, and you've enjoyed some hot and sweaty porch stitching, as I have. Although this summer has been so weird weather-wise. I know weather is like so boring to talk about, but the heat, I don't know where it went. We hardly got any of it. I know some of you were like sweltering out, but there hasn't been enough hot and sweaty porch stitching. Please, someone play me a tiny violin. All right, I thought I would include a different section here called an older finish. I just want to show you an older finish you probably haven't seen from me unless you've been watching me from 2015, in which case maybe you'll like seeing again. Something really strange happened to me. I was watching Emily C. Eclectic Possessions, who I think started floss tubing a few months after me. And you know, the people that go back to 2015, 2014, 2016, we are the OGs. We've been together a long time, and I think there's a special feeling between us. You know, whether we became best stitchy friends or not, it was a unique time in floss tube history. And here's what happened. I was watching one of Emily's videos, her whip parade, mid-year whip parade, and all of a sudden I started thinking, man, I wish she would show Mermaid's Folly again. Mermaid's Folly is this huge monochromatic piece by the Courtney collection. It's gigantic. Emily stitched it, and I think she hung it in her dining room. But I was there when she was stitching that huge piece. I was there when she finished it. And I haven't seen it in years. She sees it every day. I don't. Isn't that weird? Yes, it is. I'm sitting there yearning for floss tube projects that I was rooting for of old. Man, life is just bizarre sometimes, am I right? Yeah, so that got me thinking of like other like projects that I saw finished, almost 10 years ago. So I thought, what are the chances that, all my subscribers have seen some of my older stuff? All that to say, we're just gonna look at some older finishes, and may you enjoy them. I just grabbed two things. The first has glass on it, so it might be a little reflecty, but this is the Song of Solomon ship sampler. And the designer's name is Robin Melia. Now, Robin didn't actually design some of these motifs. She took them from an old book of embroidery motifs, but she did, arrange them. I think she wrote the border herself, and she was selling this pattern on Etsy. This is one of these things that I haven't looked up in so long that I don't know that she kept designing, nor do I know if the pattern is still available. I will put the answer on the screen, as well as put the link to it down below if there is one. But I loved doing this. At the time, there was a Facebook group. Everyone was choosing their own colors and colorways. It is charted in, a good amount of bright colors. But I just went at it by myself and chose my own colors. I also personalized it with the Ethiopian flag and the American flag. Our family has ties to Ethiopia, and I love it. I think it's great. I think I did a good job picking the colors. I will say I don't like the fabric that it's on. I think it's on a lamb's wool 32 count Lugana. And I don't know what it is about the tone of the fabric, but I don't like it. And I hate admitting that, but because it's an awesome piece. It's an awesome piece. It says, "Draw me and I will run after thee." It's an awesome piece. I love my color choices. I don't love my fabric choice. I don't know why. I think it's the yellowishness of it. But it hangs up on my wall, and I guess I just wish I loved it more. It deserves more love. The second piece I grabbed is this. This is, I can't remember the name. This is by Samplers Not Forgotten. Forgotten? This is by Samplers Not Forgotten. And I think it's called like 1813 Basket or something. I'll put the info down below. It was a Nashville release maybe 4 years ago. It came out as a kit. Love it. You can't tell, but I'm going to tell you. I had no idea how to put ribbon on the side of a pillow. Like, no clue. And I thought, well, here's what I'll try. And I did a running okay, just brace yourself. I did a running stitch down the center of the ribbon. If Lois watches this video, I will know immediately, because I will get a text. I did a running stitch down the center of the ribbon, and then I, like, gathered it. That's what I did. And that is why it is so... And then I sewed it on. I had no idea. I did not know. And that's why it's so uneven. Like, there's big chunks of ribbon, and then there's, like, no ribbon. I like how it I will say, I like Wabi Sabi. I like how it looks. I don't mind it at all. I think it kind of looks purposely like that, but I'm telling you the behind the scenes that it is not purposely like that. I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, like you can see, there's like holes in the extra ribbon of where I done my dumb running stitch. But you learn. I now know how to properly sew ribbon on the side of a pillow. I didn't then, but who cares? We all learn and grow. This was also one of my only stitches where I stitched with one strand of floss. I prefer stitching with 2 strands of floss. This was a fine experience, but I'm a 2-strand girl. So those were my old finishes. Hope you enjoyed those. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings about seeing vintage projects. Or here, even better, tell me what year you first started watching FlossTube. I would love to know that. I would love to know that. What year did you discover and start watching FlossTube? Because I think of my OG people, but if you started watching in 2020, your OG people are totally different than mine. And it's just fun to hear about people's introduction into this very bizarre world. Next up, we're going to do new in the shop. New in Lindy Stitches. I have a fabric and I have a little kit and some patterns to show you. These are just new at lindystitches.com and you might be interested in them. And if not, you can just treat me like I'm QVC and look at my doodads. Zweigart introduced a new color of Lugana. This is called Gray Mauve. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, what is gray and what is mauve about what she is showing me? To me, this reads lilac purple. Now, Zweigart has another medium purple Lugana. I will show it to you right now, because I happen to have, as a decoration and also for some photos, my 32 count Lugana stack right here. So I will pull up the medium purple. Here it is. This is their lavender Lugana. So you can see it is a different color. This one is much cheerier, and this does have more gray in it. However, I would not call this gray mauve. I would call it a dull purple. But would you like to see if I can go through the stack without looking at the colors? Like, how well do I know my 32 count Lugana colors? Let's see. I'm not looking, okay? Terracotta. Vintage Rose. Sahara. Light Mint. Can you see it? This is Mint Splash. I have charted with this several times. It has the little polka dots on it. What is this? Light Blue. Vintage Atlantic. Great for sea scenes. This is Slate Blue. I love this one. Can you see it? Love it. Stone Gray. No, I was wrong. Light Taupe and Taupe, which are nearly identical. You could hardly tell them apart if you weren't holding them right next to each other. What is this? Something about wood. Vintage Wood. Stone Gray. Silver Moon. And Stormy Clouds. If you would like to see a picture of all these fabrics lined up in comparison, I have one on my website. I think it's a very handy tool because when I'm fabric shopping, that's exactly what I want. I need to know how everything compares and how everything looks next to each other. And so I took some really nice photos and labeled all of the fabrics so that you can tell how they compare against each other. That's our 32 count Lugana stack. I'm planning on taking more like color comparison photos of my different types of fabric, you know, the linens and I have a good comparison photo for the 16 count Adas, but I need to keep working on that. So anyway, that gray mauve is the new color. What do you think about it? Would you use it for something? I don't know. Also new, I ordered a ton of geese, a whole flock of the Canada Goose from Mill Hill because look at him. Just look at him. This is not a brand new pattern from the Blue Flower. This came out about a month ago. I'm sure you've seen it already, but I couldn't remember if I'd featured it on my channel. This is Happy Campers. We started stocking some Prairie Schooler. I am going to slowly add the Prairie Schooler to the site, but we just got some classic Halloween and Christmas designs. This is Bump in the Night. Christmas Eve. Very popular one. A lot of people have stitched this. Birds and Berries. Harvest Time. Love this little village scene. And the pumpkins with the witch. And this one is gorgeous. I've seen finishes of that turkey with all the beautiful leaves before. What I'm stitching the night before Christmas. And this one is called Santa's Night. Have you seen this before? You probably have. But have you ever focused on this? Because I basically ordered this one for this. Because look. Okay, I love a cut through house. I love this one too. I like these better than the big sampler, although the big sampler is really cute. I love this with I love that the reindeer is like sitting in the sleigh with a candy cane. And for some reason this really pleases me too. So cute. That one is called Santa's Night. Adorable. I also love that like Santa, he's in the house, he has a candy cane, and his hat is like going in front of his face. It's details like those that will make me start something. The artsy housewife. I'm digging her. I am digging Gigi. I am stocking her patterns because they're amazing. And she came out with several new patterns. I'm stocking 4 of them. This is Una Owl. And look at that. Look how sweet. Very sweet. This one is like 120 by 100 and it's so cute. Golden Delicious. My husband picked this one up as his favorite of the 4 new releases. This one is just an amazing color play. Really love it. 2 words to live by, in my opinion. Frolicsome and mirthful. I want to stitch this. I want to stitch it together. I want to stitch them together, like frolicsome and then right underneath mirthful. They're nearly the same stitch count. They're like a few stitches off from each other. But how fun would some color play be on this pattern? It would be so fun. Love them. The last pattern, when I saw it on Instagram, I about fell out of my chair. I love it so much. It's called Coffee and Eggs. This is genius. I don't know why I love this so much. It reads very 70s to me in like the best way possible. I think it's the colors and like the pattern on her skirt, maybe like the vintagey looking coffee pot. I don't know. I could not love this pattern more. Literally, the chicken. The fact that I love eggs and coffee so much. Like every morning. Coffee and eggs. Yes. I literally eat 2 eggs every day without fail, unless for some crazy reason we have no eggs in the fridge. I am an egg connoisseur. I'm a freak about my eggs in the morning. I love eggs. Like no joke. I do not want anything else in for breakfast. Like no. You can take your oatmeal, your cereal, you keep it to yourself. I'm making my eggs, and I'm as happy as this woman. I love this so much. Awesome job, Gigi. Those are my shop. And that's the shop update. Plans and want to start. Next week is my birthday, and I think about what I want to start on my birthday for a month minimum. It's just one of my thoughts that I mull over in the back of my brain for a really long time. And usually I just do something very silly. I'm very indecisive, and so it's just like a fun topic I turn to in my head. And I usually wait way too long to decide, and then I don't have what I want for what I start. It's just kind of this conundrum that I enjoy on my birthday. So, I have a pile of stuff I want to start, and the first one is coffee and eggs. I'm for sure starting this. Here are most of the called for colors. Some of them I kind of just matched with what was called for. But I'm going to start this. I think I'm going to use this raw 32 count Zweigart linen. And so coffee and eggs is going to be started. And I don't know that it will be my birthday start because I think I'm going to stitch it as a gift. But That? Yeah. Yep. That's getting started. But then I have a whole pile. This is my birthday. I'm thinking about starting a pile. And, you know, they're just ideas, okay? I'm sure you'd like to see them. It's just a stash dive. Who doesn't love a stash dive? In the back of my mind, I don't have the pattern printed out, but I am thinking about pandemic. Call me crazy, but I do have that pattern. I haven't gotten so far as to what fabric would I use, what floss would I use. I mean, that's like a 3-hour process, and I might decide to engage in it, and I might not, depending on how I feel. However, these I also am very interested in starting. These are my short list. There's like 10 of them, but we'll go through them quickly. This is As the Crow Flies by the Prairie Schooler, and this has been on my short list for some time. This one has not been reprinted by Hoffman yet, but you can still kind of find copies for, I paid regular retail price for this, and it's one of the old cardstock ones. But I love both pieces in this. I know Megan, the wide-eyed stitching child, stitched this, and they're so cute. That's on the short list. Kathy Barrick's White Winter Moth. Have this in the shop. Love it. It's so pretty, and I think it would be really fun. Stitch count on this one is 197. I would not have guessed that. That's bigger than what I thought it was. 197 by 110. So it's just kind of wide, but I mean, that's practically vintage country mocha, right? I don't think that's actually what it's stitched on, but that's definitely the tone of vintage country mocha. So it could be a quick one to kit up. Another Kathy Barrick. This is Thomas. This has been on my short list for some time. It's just the color play that I love so much about this pattern. I love that butterfly and all the colors that Thomas has in him. Here's another pattern I've wanted to start for quite some time. This is Black Cat Hollow by Barbara Anna. And the whole piece looks like that. Camera. Hey, camera. The whole piece looks like that. And then it's 3 parts. All 3 parts are only 151 by 156. So that's not bad. It's just 3 little banners. And they all use the same colors. Look at these witches in the bathtub. I just think it would be fun. Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. I will stitch this one day. It's just a matter of what day. I love the bowl of fruit. Okay, the Mighty Oak sampler, which comes from Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs. I love this picture. I love this sampler. It's so classic and wonderful. I probably would update, kind of punch up the colors a little bit because I'm not a, I'm not a muted lady. Last 2 on my short list. The first one is Jane Hopkins by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I love that bouquet. I fell in love with it the minute I laid eyes on it and bought the sampler. I think I would just want to stitch the bouquet. I like how the sampler looks as a whole, but I don't really think like the border and the motifs around it like really match the middle. I know you're not supposed to like criticize these beautiful girls who stitched these. I'm just saying, Jane, you knocked it out of the park with this vase, and I want to stitch the vase, and it's gorgeous. Last but not least, this is one of these really weird internet finds. I can't believe I even own this. It's just so strange to me that I even got my hands on it. This is a Dutch magazine, I think, I'm assuming. And I saw a finish of this piece, and somehow I was able to find it on the internet, which, here it is, was really surprising that I could even track this down, because it is totally in Dutch. A Dutch publication from I don't even know what year. I don't see a year on here. But it's definitely vintage. But I love this piece. I love the ferns in the middle and the mushroom and that weird looking squirrel. It's a gorgeous finish. I saw someone finish it on Instagram, like I said. What's prevented me from starting this is that the chart is hand-drawn, and it's kind of a mess, to be honest. I had to send the back stitching notes to a friend of mine who knows Dutch so that she could translate them for me. It's in DMC, but the chart is just kind of a mess. I know you're not supposed to show charts, but you don't have the color key, do ya? And good luck stitching from this. So it's not, like, impossible. I just know it necessarily wouldn't be fun. So I haven't started it, but maybe one day I will. So back in 2015, I started floss tubing in a 1,000-foot square house in which I homeschooled our children. I had my business in my bedroom, and I would take my camera, which did not have a flip screen. And if you watch my original videos, I either put the camera in front of a mirror so then I could see what I was doing, or I put it in the window where I could literally not see what I was doing. I would put the camera with no flip screen in the window and I would record my videos. And I don't even know how I made it work, but I somehow did. I know that it was not pretty. It hasn't been, like, don't let it's not pretty stop you from doing the things that you want to do. I think if you're interested in filming some floss tube, just do it. Like, I just can't believe I have this space. It's crazy to me. When I did upgrade my technology. I invested in a Canon Rebel T3i, and the thing about that camera is it's great for taking photos. I felt like I was some sort of aficionado buying this digital camera with the big lens, and it was a big deal at the time. It was, to me, very expensive. It had a flip screen, but it did not have autofocus. So in another section of my videos, if you watch and I hold something up, the camera would not focus on this thing. Every time I wanted the camera to focus, I would have to reach up and halfway press down the shutter button for it to focus on something. And that was a whole nother era of my floss tube, of me holding something up and then having to come over here and hit the button so the camera would focus on it. Eventually, I got a phone that I could use. Now, the problem with the phone was, even though I had a memory card, the videos could not record to the memory card. You would have to record the videos would be recorded, you would run out of memory space, and then you would have to manually turn the phone around, and you would have to tell it to put the files on the memory card so that you could continue recording your video. That was another era. All of these eras were full of frustration, annoyance. It's hard enough for me to gather myself and sit here for various reasons, but the technology was always frustrating across the board. Even if I had my phone or camera charged fully, and I had the memory, I deleted everything on my phone so I would have more space. All these things I would have to do before I sat down to film a floss tube video. They were just a chore, but I did it. I did it because I wanted to talk to you guys. I did it because I wanted to participate. But there were things behind the scenes that were incredibly frustrating and annoying. My most recent setup, kind of coinciding with us moving into a larger home, was to be able to use my phone. And because I had, you know, a good enough model that it could handle the video files, and it did a pretty decent job with the focusing and all of that. But there were still frustrations. There was the frustration of forgetting to put on the notifications. There was the frustration of running out of file space, yes. And then just recently there was the frustration of my phone deciding it just didn't like external microphones anymore. So I have fought nail and tooth to kind of get to this wonderful space that I don't deserve. I consulted with someone who knows cameras and lights and what do I do and how do I do this. And I invested in a camera. This camera is now plugged in. It has this handy thing that I can plug it into the wall so it never runs out of battery. I could leave this camera running 24/7 if I wanted to. And it, you know, I mean, that's pretty sweet. I bought a memory card. Is anyone listening to this? I bought a memory card with 256 gigabytes. What's that about? Yeah. And I have a light. I previously had a ring light, and I just, like, that thing, bless its heart. Bless its heart. Because darn if I could figure out how to make that work. Because all it did was wash me out and make me look like a corpse in headlights. But I have a proper light now, and I have this space where I can sit and talk to you. And now all the technological barriers should be removed. And so I hope to make more videos for you. I want to make tutorials, like the sky is the limit now. I've been given power. May I use it with great responsibility. But anyway, about my studio. This is wallpapered. I'd never wallpapered before. Boy, was that a fun adventure. I actually did, in the end, enjoy the process. It was a wee bit frustrating, and it's a little nerve-wracking because wallpaper is not cheap. I found that out in buying my first load of wallpaper I've ever purchased. I decided to go with peel and stick because I don't know about using glue and the water, and that just made me nervous. The peel and stick was a little more expensive than the pasty kind, but I'm happy with how it looks. There's one seam between the sheets that bothers me, but now that everything's on the wall, you can't really even see it. So it was a fun experience, I will say. I would do it again. I think it looks amazing. I love polka dots, and I feel like this looks like my brand. We have my giant swan basket / cat toy box. I put all the cat toys in the swan basket. The cats are down here at night, and Willoughby has an amazing time every night taking all the cat toys and sprinkling them about the room. And every morning I pick them up for them. So that's a really fun activity. So when I think about like this whole journey down memory lane, I've been kind of nostalgic in this video, haven't I? But I think about how far I've come since 2015, and it is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that I have a studio. I feel a little embarrassed when people come over and they see this giant light and this obvious, like, recording setup. It just seems so strange that I'm a successful businesswoman. Why can't I just say that? Why can't I just own it? I'm a successful businesswoman, and I can't believe it. I never saw this coming. I I love my business so much. I love talking to you. I love coming up with new products and new patterns and beautiful things that are delightful and events. And I want to serve you more. I want to be more valuable to you, more useful. And that is what this is about, because Steph Webb, in her like everyday woman, insecure, fumbling self, thinks this is really weird. I'm gonna be honest. Thinks this is really weird. Steph, businesswoman, I'm gonna own it and we're gonna rock it and let's go. So, boy, this footage is gonna be fun to watch back. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had some fun. I'd love to know what you are stitching on. Don't forget to tell me when you started watching FlossTube and who your OG FlossTube people are. Have a great stitchy summer. I will see you in 2 weeks with Black Cat season. Until then, friends, bye.